Hello and welcome. We at ET Now bring you a special commodity show on this auspicious occasion of Akshaya Tritiya. But before we get to our special lineup of guests which we have today, all corners covered, investment, trading, on-ground mood checks. Let's revisit this history and the story behind this holy festival. Akshaya Tritiya, also known as the Akha Teej, is a holy day for Hindus and Jains. It is an auspicious day because it's the birthday of Lord Parshuram, who is the 6th incarnation of Lord Vishnu. Significance of this festival is that its only date which is never out of the lunar calendar, and hence Akshaya Tritiya becomes one of the most auspicious days for marriages and buy assets like gold. Let's get you our special lineup of guests which we have got you, the glittering discussion on gold, the trading angle, the investment angle. Mr. Somasundaram, he is the MD of World Gold Council, will be joining us on the show to give you a perspective on the investment sentiment in the country right now for gold and for global demand, and that kind of a perspective, what are hedge funds doing, what are big ultra HNIs across the world doing. We will be joined by Jonathan Barratt, all the way from Sydney. He is from AyersAlliance, the company. Tanya Rastogi would be joining us from IBJA, which is the Bullion and Jewelers Association right here. Of course, apart from that, the trading view, how can we ignore that? And Nilesh Dedhia from NTD Trading would be joining us to help us understand what kind of trade is developing as far as the precious metals are concerned, all of them. But before that, let's get you a check on how on-ground sales is happening across the country. We've got our colleague Mubina Kapathi from Vaman Haripete showroom right now. Mubina, talk to us about, can we get Mubina on the screen right now? I think she can hear us loud and clear right now. Mubina, talk to us about how people are buying the gold right now. Do you see crowd gathering there? Can you hear me, Mubina? All right.
I'm here at the Vaman Haripete showroom in Mumbai, and being in this store has made me realize the inevitable, that be it demonetization, whatever the state of the economy is, or whatever the per capita income is for the country compared to the rest of the world, Indians have an undying love for gold. And of course, the proof is right behind me. As you can see, the flurry of people engaging in purchasing that gold over there on this auspicious occasion of Akshaya Tritiya. Now, interestingly, I'm also meeting a lot of category of people. Like there's one set who wants to buy the chunky set of jewelry for posterity for the upcoming wedding season, and then the younger people who just want to invest in that token gold coin because of course it's considered to be an auspicious time. But interestingly, along with the cash registers ringing, it will also be worthy to note the fact that there's also the card machines that's being swiped away.
Right, thanks very much for that, Mubina. We'll keep coming back to you, but before that, let's get a trading side. Pull up the 1-year graph and we'll see how gold prices have been this year. Nilesh, what is your trend? You actually watch gold very closely. In fact, the 1-year graph will now come up on your screen. It has been actually beating a lot of asset classes. It's in fact geopolitical issues and other things have also led to some fresh long positions from the hedge fund side. Nilesh, talk to us. What are the charts telling you for gold?
Hi Ajay. See, gold has recently made a base around 1200 or so, and we saw an upsurge in the prices up to 1300 or so. Currently, it's quoted around 1267 on the international market. Going ahead, what we see that there could be a huge upsurge for next 2-3 years. I'm talking little longer period. We can see the 6 to 7 year correction for gold. We saw the top around somewhere in 2011, and just now we are at 2017. So, we will see a price wise and a time wise correction rebound of this asset class, and what we can see next 2-3 years would be price of around somewhere around 1730-35 levels.
Right. Jonathan, you are observing how the global hedge funds are also positioning in gold right now. There is a very smart rally which is happening. What are the other factors, geopolitical and any other, which you may have observed because of which gold prices have done so well this year?
Look, I think it's quite clear that gold is rallying purely on the back of, I think, the geopolitical risks that we're seeing the world engulf, whether it's North Korea, whether it's Syria. A lot of it, I think, has to do with geopolitics, particularly coming from the US, the Donald Trump regime. And as a result of that, we're seeing that geopoliticals sort of people are saying, well, look, are things going to get better or worse? The chances are they're going to get worse, hence they're investing in gold.
Let's get Mr. Somasundaram also on the show, because he actually represents the World Gold Council and got a very good handle on the domestic demand supply conditions and trends. Sir, tell us, gold has done pretty well for the last couple of months. How are the demand trends now you are observing? Because demonetization actually people thought would weigh on the demand in our country. Has that actually happened?
No, I think what we picked up in the last few weeks is that the buzz is back in the industry. This sentiment is truly positive amongst the traders, and even the consumers seem to be coming back. Several factors are supporting it. Obviously, demonetization is behind, and so the latent demand during that period is probably coming back. And on top of it, we have the price. International price had gone up since the beginning of the year, but if you see the Indian price, it has lagged behind because of the rupee appreciation. So that is an opportunity for people who want to invest in gold. Rupee price is just up 2.5%, international price is 8.5%. So that's also an opportunity. And closer to the Akshaya Tritiya, well, stock markets is also at a very high level, so that also gives an opportunity for people, particularly the risk averse, to move to gold. So what we pick up is that there is quite a bit of activity.
Geopolitical issues is also something which may have aided the rally so far. But of course, economy is also picking up, especially rural side. Do you see that demand from rural India, tier 2, tier 3 coming back? Because that actually forms a big chunk of the overall consumption of gold. Mr. Somasundaram?
Yes, definitely that is a very important factor. Has always been important for gold, and more so now after all that happened last year with the confusion around PAN cards and then demonetization, then excise duty strike. I think this is one window where we see a lot of stability. So we think that this Akshaya Tritiya is going to be very, very good, and probably a start of a very good year.
Nilesh, what are the long-term charts showing? 30,000 odd now. If the geopolitical issues remain, can it go further? Also, you've done some serious studies on the other precious metal, which is silver, and there's a very high correlation between gold and silver, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously there's a correlation. As far as gold is concerned, for Indian markets, we not recommend any kind of investment as such, because we see rupee appreciating going ahead, and probably gold will be would be in a band of 26,000 to 33,000 for next couple of years or so, as far as Indian markets are concerned. But especially on silver, what we can see is there's a huge accumulation pattern for last 6-7 years, and the base formation has happened at 17 levels on the international market, somewhere around 38 to 48, that's the accumulation zone for the MCX Indian market. And we see the prices of silver touching sky high, maybe approximately around 1,25,000 to 1,50,000. This is all based on the technical parameters. See, I'll go back little behind. We saw silver, the first sign of silver, which gave the buy at 10,000 rupees, which was based on monthly MACD. The same kind of pattern has developed recently also, and we are almost at the same level around the MACD. It just crossed the zero line. And last time what we had seen, we saw around 700% rally, but what we'll conclude out here is that at least we'll get 2 times, 3 times return on silver, and the risk reward is absolutely in favor of all investors from India for silver.
Let's go to Jonathan now. Before my other panelists also come on the show, we've got some very interesting voices will be joining us on the show from. Okay, Tanya, in fact, is online right now. We were facing some technical issues. Tanya, can you hear me clearly? Talk to us,
Yes,
how is it, how's the demand there back home in Lucknow?
Okay, so up north, the thing is, it's very interesting. The festival is actually divided for 2 days. So it starts middle of 28th, that's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and goes right up to 29. So that's very lucky for jewelers because one, it's fallen on the weekend time, and the last correction of the gold has been coincident, like a happy coincidence. And we have 2 days now to use this entire festival, which we were all waiting for. And as you know, our festivals are usually scientific related, so it's always around the harvest when they worship the goddess Lakshmi. So of course, the demand is very good around here right now, but for smaller items as compared to before when people used to buy big chunks. I think post demonetization, there's not enough cash to go around, maybe. But the walk-in is massive, much more than last year. I would say about 25 to 30% more. And the buying of bullion is down this time. But quantum sale is higher than last year, but concentrating on the smaller items, yes.
Right. Stay with us, Tanya. We've got a massive panel from FII side, World Gold Council, the top jewelers and top traders on this show to give you a holistic view on gold. Let's go to World Gold Council. Mr. Soma is here. Do you see that people are also booking profits out of stock markets and real estate? Because you do have a very good comparative analysis going at World Gold Council. What kind of money is coming into gold? Do you see people flocking back as an investment destination for gold?
Yeah, it's always a thing that, stock markets definitely, the penetration is increasing. People do make wealth. It is one of the asset classes, but predominantly people, who enter do make profits, and gold is seen as the ultimate asset class. So, when you make money in the stock market, you can assume quite a portion of that comes to gold, because it's seen as ultimate asset class actually.
Tanya, after the cash ban, do you see people coming back to your showrooms, or the demand trends? What are your observations? People have got money back in their wallets now for investment and purchase of gold?
Actually, that's just, I think, the trigger right now, because, and I'm talking about not only Lucknow, right up to, we've been getting pictures right up to Nepal, So I think people have been feeling poor for quite a few months now, because there was just not enough cash to go around, even if you had enough cash to be in your banks. But now, since all those problems are gone, and this is the only form of luxury where you can actually use your money, but it does not devalue your currency. Also, I think people have lost their faith in currency. They are reminded of the fact that paper currency is not money. It is just promise to pay money. Nothing can demonetize gold. And this Akshaya Tritiya, I think, reinforces that fact that gold is a lifelong currency which does not get demonetized. So, yeah, I think collectively we jewelers, the industry needed that. And throughout, we've been getting pictures right from Bombay to Pune to all over. I think everybody is very happy, and we're getting a good, much needed walk back in.
Well, that's correct. We are observing that sales are picking up for most jewelers across the country, many of them listed whom we track very closely. But let's get an FII voice back. Jonathan, once this geopolitical issue fades, do you think rally may not have a lot of legs from here on? Because 6% on a full 1 year basis, on a YTD basis, around 13–14%, pretty much already in the price, do you think?
Well, I think that's something we have to consider. I mean, the trend for gold is certainly in play, there's no doubt about it. But then we have to ask ourselves, we've got a term of a government that really wants to put its stamp as a global policeman for issues that might occur. And we've already seen that in the first 100 days of administration of the Trump regime. So as a result of that, we would suggest that would continue over time. I do agree, though, if in fact something happened and that regime wasn't there, then I think you'd find that gold's rally would end quite quickly. But as it stands now, I think the trend is there as a result of what we've seen in the past and the evidence that we've collected. So therefore, I think it's a buy on dip type of scenario.
Jonathan, what kind of price levels are you looking at over the next 6 to 12 months?
Look, I think you can. I think you can look at where the current level is, and will we see a test back to 1350, 14 and higher? I think we will. But at each step, one of the biggest things, it's all about timing for these moves to occur. So we've got to see each trend actually broken. At the moment, we're on a 6-year downward trend. If we see 1300 broken on the top side, then I'm encouraged to see 1350 and 1400. But we've got to see that trend line broken. So in terms of my mind, if I look for the next 6 to 8 months or even 12 months, I would like to peg it at around 1350.
Over the 6 to 12 month, the 1400 possible in for the MCX traders. What level would you watch out for? Nilesh?
Yes. It could be, see, for MCX it would be very tricky because you have to sell dollars and buy gold. So, only professional traders should go into this kind of a trade. Otherwise, it would be very risky for the MCX traders.
Right. Tanya, 1400 over the next 6 to 12 months, if it's crossed on the global market, how do you see investor behavior? Because I understand a lot of people come to jewelers to buy bars and coins, and how do you think their behavior would go towards yellow metal then?
So actually that really helps. The fact is that around 45. So we consume, as Indians, we consume about 1,000 tons per year. So just that 20% of the world gold. So 10% of that, almost half of that investment is actually for investment purposes and not jewelry, which had gotten a hit in the past couple of years. It had gone down by about 10 to 20%. So the ratio had become, the 45-55 ratio had actually gone down to 30-70 ratio. So 70 being jewelry and 30 being just investment. So what happens is when the gold rises, the myth is that the demand decreases, but the fact remains that the investors' belief in gold gets reinforced. So demand actually rises with the first correction in gold, and as it rises. And it's, of course, it's a national hobby to follow the rate of gold. Everybody, right from rickshawalas to the businesswomen to the housewives, everybody knows about them. So I think, and I believe there is going to be about that kind of race because China has been constantly buying gold, and I've been maintained this since last year that I think we're gonna see 1400 is absolutely expected, and I think it'll be good for our industry.
Right.
Also, since rupee is stronger, so the fact remains that it's internationally, as compared to international markets, we buy gold cheaper right now. So that is also a big plus for us.
Right. Tanya, stay with us. We've got another voice joining in from your own community. Vaman Haripete's director Aditya is here with us. In fact, my colleague Mubina is in conversation with him on how are the trends today. What's the day panning out? Mubina, take it away.
Yeah, definitely, because see, it's 4 days in a year are considered as very auspicious for buying gold jewelry. So definitely we see almost 100 to 250% rise in terms of footfalls on these auspicious days. Definitely, it is Padwa, it is Akshaya Tritiya, it is Dhanteras, Pushya Nakshatra, these 4 or 5 days, and Dasara. These are the main days where we see tremendous footfalls in stores.
So, I just want to understand the trends that you have seen. What's the average ticket size of purchases that you see on these kind of days?
See, if you see a total average on a yearly basis, it would be around 50 to 60,000 rupees, the total number of units which we sell vis-a-vis the price. But on these particular days, generally the average goes up to be 1.5 lakh, roughly 1.5 lakh on an average.
Okay, do you think that compared to the last Akshaya Tritiya that we had, that was pre-demonetization, compared to, of course, now, there has been a drop in the average ticket size that customers may not be willing to spend?
Post-demonetization, for the next couple of months, it was quite slow. In fact, there were no sales at all. It was very, very low. But now everything is back to normal. So now I think people have forgotten about demonetization and things are back to normal. So we see normal businesses going on.
So you're saying that the average ticket size as well, especially on these special occasions, has remained absolutely the same compared to the last year?
Yeah, see, last year, generally the last 2 years have not really been auguring well for the jewellery industry. The reason being the previous year, there was an excise strike. So the stores were shut for almost 1 month, right? Then last financial year, it was obviously the demonetization, which for 2-3 months were back. But this year, honestly speaking, the signs are very good, and Akshaya Tritiya being the first major festival on, in this year. So we feel that we will see a year-on-year growth of vis-a-vis last year, 30 to 35%.
Right. Tanya, you heard Vaman Haripete's Aditya talking about the demand trends. At your own showrooms or some of your friends in the industry, what is the average ticket size at which sales is happening right now, and how has it changed over the last 2-3 years?
So the entire 80% of the entire, I think if we include the diamonds, it's different. If it is for gold, it's different. As he said, it is usually for gold, it's about 50 to 60. It starts at about 50,000 and goes up to about, let's say, 2. And that's the average size for which gets uses about 70% of the entire buyout. For diamonds, it's the bracket is between 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs. 80% of the diamonds are dealt within that price bracket. But as he said, it is correct. I like to differ at one point. I think people have not forgotten about demonetization. What's really happened is that their actions, their spending behaviors have changed. People who used to sit on cash, hoard money, I think are very wary of sitting on currency now. And they want to exchange it right away for as much gold as it is. They don't want to lose that much of money by putting stones in it or pearls in it. So next best to bullion, because bullion also is not seeing that much of a good walk-in right now. It's more jewelry right now. Yeah, with, as he said, 50 to 60,000 is where it starts and goes up to right up to 150.
Nilesh, if one were to hedge the portfolio 10-20% and keep physical gold bars or coins at home, what kind of price increase can you see or return over the 1 to 2 year period given the environment?
I'll again correlate it with currency, Indian rupee. 62.75, 63 should be the immediate floor and 66 should be the supply area. So eventually whenever you find somewhere near 62, 63, you can buy bulk of gold, and whenever you see around 66, you can sell bulk of gold and even sell dollars also.
Right, on that note, guys, I'll have to thank all of you. Thank you so much to be a part of this special broadcast we had for you at ET Now for Akshaya Tritiya. Tanya, Jonathan, Som, Nilesh. In fact, on that note, let's also get you a short interaction my colleague had with some of the people who are around shopping for gold this evening. Goodbye.
You spend your money, or do you all specifically look for occasions like Akshaya Tritiya? Yes,
or we do.
So do you all not look at the way gold prices etc. are moving, or
we go by the Akshaya Tritiya or something that we go.
We do look at occasions and buy.
I'm looking for the nice earring. I want some nice jhumka, so I'm just come here to just see the nice earring, and also I want to give someone this.
Oh, okay. So do you usually wait for occasions like Gudi Parva, Akshaya Tritiya, or do you buy as and when you feel like?
No, I buy whenever I feel ki, yeah, this is good. Whenever I found this is very different and unique, then I'll buy. But yes, of course, this is Akshaya Tritiya, so it's a benefit. So I came to purchase gold jewelry.
What are you purchasing this Akshaya Tritiya?
Gold as an investment.
Okay, so is there anyone specific who you're buying this gold for?
It's not like that. Whenever I feel buy, I'll buy, and especially on Dhanteras and Akshaya Tritiya, compulsorily I'll buy.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/etnow.